In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this isometric pictorial that's pictured over here on the left. The first thing we want to do is we want to identify the height, width, and depth of this object. So as you can see by the faint grid that's on there, we can actually count how many isometric squares there are. So an easy way to picture these isometric squares is sometimes when I'm starting off my drawings, and especially as I'm just starting to learn my isometric shapes, is I want to draw a little cube here on my grid paper to get an idea of what a cube looks like. So typically this area that I'm shading in here now is the front view, and this area that's off here directly to the right, this would be my right side view. The area that's not shaded is going to be the top. So if I'm looking at my front view orientation, so the shape that's making the L, I can see here that my height here is 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes. So I can go ahead and write in 4 here. My width, which is the distance from left to right, is 1, 2, 3 cubes. And then lastly, my depth, or the distance from front to back, is 1, 2, 3 cubes again. And I know that gets a little bit tricky to see, but you should be able to kind of get a hang of what some of this stuff looks like. All right, so now we're ready to start drawing. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is this front L shape. So when you're drawing in isometrics, all of your verticals lines are true verticals. So that means I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and change my color here so it's a little bit easier to see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be my height. My width, which is going to be the bottom of that L shape, I'm going to go over 3. So 1, 2, 3. To bring up that L, I'm going to go up 1 unit. I'm going to go over to the left 1, 2 units. And then I'm going to go back up 1, 2, 3 units and connect my L shape. Now we're at the point where we're ready to start adding in depth. So if I go to each one of my corners on my L, I can see that I'm drawing lines back 3 units, 3 units, 3 units, 3 units, and 3 units again. I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on my drawing. So 3 units, 3 units, 3 units, 3, and 3 again. Now we're ready to connect these. So I can connect these, and this, and this, and this. And notice those lines are directly parallel with the lines that we drew in the front view. So this one's parallel with the front view, this one's parallel with the front view, and so are my remaining 2. Now, the last thing we need to do here is we need to establish a light source. So I'm going to say for this example that my light source is coming from the top. So that means that my top view, or this face and this face, are going to be left entirely white. I'm not going to do anything with it. Now the other 2 sides that are closest to the light source, those are going to receive hash marks. And these are just going to be simply drawn diagonal lines that are going to indicate that shadows are being cast on that surface. So when I'm doing my hatching, I like to make them evenly spaced. And you want to try to make these as neat and as straight as you possibly can. So that's what my hatching looks like for the front view. And now I'm going to move over and do the hatching for my right side view. I personally like connecting them. I think it makes it look neater and more professional. And we have one more right face to cover. Just like that. And with that, you have completed your first isometric pictorial. Congratulations.